This video is sponsored by Vograce. Hello. So as some of you might guess, after the last 2 weeks of content, I'm kind of all tuckered out. I am pooped. But as many of you also know, I do have little goblin hands that need to be preoccupied with something creative. I kinda just need something cozy this week. And last time I felt as I do now. I did my just designing some fantasy nonsense clothes video. And what's cozier for this season than just designing some fall fantasy nonsense clothes? Can you guys tell that I am wired right now? This is just another installment on my quest to take the aspects of fantasy fashion that I like and try to blend it into normal people modern fashion and still be able to wear it out without people thinking I'm in costume. What are the clothing staples of the fall season? Well, they're cozy knit sweaters, suede and corduroy skirts, they're pinafores and overalls, vests and dirndls, and let us not forget the entire aesthetic of dark academia. And what are we marrying these clothing pieces with, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you did. It's the entire fall aesthetic. We are not being overly specific today. Anyways, fantasy nonsense clothes aren't the only thing I'll be designing in this video, because this video is sponsored by Vograce, because they have been kind enough to send me some samples of their pillowcases, keychains, and stickers. So at some point, we'll be taking an intermission so that I can design some new merch and share my thoughts on Vograce's products. And I have a special offer for everyone in my audience. If you use my code KIRA5 at checkout, you will get $5 off a purchase of $20 from Vograce. I'll have more on Vograce later in the video, but for now, let's get designing. Since it was a lovely day outside, I moved my setup to my backyard to get started so I could lounge and enjoy the fall weather, and so that I could continue a little personal project where I repaint some old foam pumpkins between designs. Obviously, with it being spooky season, I had to have my fair share of spooky designs in the mix, so this first batch is pretty much entirely spooky. I am personally in desperate need of tops because I've been buying a gratuitous number of skirts from the thrift store, but I don't really have enough tops to wear them with, and I love a good statement piece. So I started with a bat bodice. It's a little silly and not the most wearable, but I really do love the concept. The neckline and waistline are inspired by the dress I always wear for my vampire costume. It's just really graphic and sharp and would probably need to have some boning to shape it. And in addition to that, I've also been really taken by flutter sleeves lately. So the sleeves have a bit of a flutter sleeve cut, and I would probably stick some boning in the top and transition the sleeves into a capelet thing on the back to really give it a bat effect. And of course, the design is completed with a lace down front, because what better way to make sure your waist looks absolutely snatched all the time than to just compress it into your midsection every single day of the week when the Victorian hits. Okay, anyways, it feels a little hot topic-y, if you know what I mean, but I feel like I would absolutely wear this during spooky season. And speaking of Victorian, up next is just a little Victorian inspired design that started as a vest and turned into a full outfit. I just wanted to play around with something witchy and celestial, and I also love a good blue, pink, red color scheme. So the basic design is just some spooky eyeball hands casting a fire spell into the sky, and that is paired with an eyeball shirt, an eyeball skirt, an eyeball brooch, and cravat combo for no reason other than I just really love very simple, spooky iconography. Or not so simple, depending on how maximalist your taste is. This outfit would be a pain to recreate, but I think it would be really fun to figure out how the heck I would make everything in this video if I made it. I think like 80% of these designs would actually be really challenging. I think a good way to force myself to learn new skills is to just design a garment that I hyperfixate on and absolutely must own, and force myself to figure out how the heck I would make it. Okay, finally, as kind of a simpler design, we have the Boo Bodice. This is exactly what it sounds like, just a ghosty bodice. I think this would be surprisingly easy to make and be surprisingly wearable. It's once again kind of stupid with the ghosts on my titties, but if I styled it correctly, I think it really screams Tim Burton. And ultimately, I want it. And I need it in my closet now. We'll see if I get around to making it, because it is very possible. I have white fabric in my basement. I could make this. Up next is a slightly more fuller set, excluding the spider shirt. The first design is just a tree-looking bodice that's supposed to be kind of fairy-looking and off the shoulder. This design was actually what inspired me to make this video and was kind of a prelude to the leaf dress. I think it would just be a fun piece to wear at a Ren Fair, really. Not really looking to put this into my daily rotation of wearable items, much like the leaf dress ended up being. And since I did these in a weird order, next is the spider shirt. It's also quite bodicey because I like tightly fitted blouses and cannot be stopped, but it has long sleeves, so it's different. This one is not that deep. I just wanted to figure out a way to design a casual yet pretty over-the-top spider shirt, and I think it's pretty fun for the most part, but again, how the heck would I make it? That is the question. As a vague concept with absolutely no methodology involved, might I suggest velvet? I think she would kind of scream velvet. Last but not least in this batch, we have a cute little autumn vest. Since Y2K has made a comeback, sweater vests have been fashionable, and I'd like to find a few of them for when I indulge in Gwen Stacy core. And for the design, of course, I went with the obligatory pumpkin sleeves mushrooms combo. It is overused, but so stinking cute. If I made this, I might do a little thrift flip on a sweater or something because I don't know how to knit or crochet, and I'd like to learn, but not starting with this project. I ended up doing a few knit items with intricate designs on them in this video, and if I actually made it, I'd probably either use embroidery because I really want to get good at that since I find it pretty relaxing, or some iron-ons since I have a bunch of those sitting around. I feel like this sweater vest is definitely something I might attempt to DIY throughout the fall, especially as a cozy embroidery practice project, so stay tuned for that maybe. Get ready to get weird! The next design is a last-minute addition to the video. Frankly, most of these are actually because I ended up getting a bunch of ideas the day I edited this, but hear me out. Monster shirt. There's just something about excessive amounts of teeth and eyeballs that really floats my boat, and I would look psychotic walking around in this outfit, but also it's so slay. I've been watching a lot of Brittany Broski, but isn't looking psychotic the point? I feel like this design is very much serving virgin killer sweater, but shirt, and also the word killer is literal because this shirt will eat you. This design radiates Gluttony's stomach from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but make it sexy energy, and I'm here for it. As ridiculous as it is, this design is 100% on my list of things I want to try to make, and I will not apologize for that. Is it a little, maybe a little kinky and weird? Yeah, but it's also cool, so shut up, parents. And finally, to contrast that cursed shirt that I said I actually want to wear on my body, we've got some cozy, warm designs. Since we as a society don't wear ponchos and capes often enough, I wanted to design a leaf poncho. I've seen similar things on Pinterest, but I wanted a more varied color scheme, and I really like the patchwork color scheme idea. The whole aesthetic of this garment is serving woodland fairy, but they're a court jester, which I think is just different, and I'm kind of into it. If I were to make it, I feel like it would be really cozy in a really soft yarn or a felt, and I also threw in some fancy autumn pants for good measure. I feel like they would be so pretty embroidered, like if I got a pair of dress pants and embroidered those, but also a total pain to work on. But alongside that, we've just got a cute pumpkin patch sweater. I just think this idea is cozy and adorable, and I have no idea how I would make it other than 100+ hours of embroidery, but I just want to wear it with mini skirts and drink pumpkin spice flavored beverages. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm really embracing my inner chuggy white girl this year. Like, I've got blonde hair, I'm in my mid-20s, I have a pretty decent collection of ankle boots. I mean, I kind of just walked right into it this year. Hello there! So before we move on to the last few fantasy nonsense designs, let's design some merch. So I just got the package, and fun fact, I had no idea what it was at first because it came from China, so it took a couple of weeks. I was just looking at this package like, wait, I didn't order anything. I have no idea what this is. Did someone get my address? But no, this is actually supposed to come to me. Hello friends, I now have the products. Charms. I'm really impressed by the print quality even though the designs are so detailed, and the color turned out really saturated and vibrant even though the design had to go from RGB to CMYK. If anything, Orchid and the Spooky Boys came out a little bit too saturated and too high contrast because I couldn't stop futzing with the print file, but that is pretty much on me. The holographic is the cutest thing I've ever seen, and I actually really like that it's only one-sided because it goes from like, you know, to like magpie brain like. And let us not forget the freaking adorable keychain shapes. Like, they're so cute. Okay, first things first. Honestly, this is like 80% why I even took this collaboration. My precious. Okay, pillowcases. I went for the mushroom sticker design for these, and I am in love. These pillowcases are so soft. These are 100% going on my couch in my room. Finally, the stickers. I gotta clean those up. I'm definitely a sticker person, so I was really excited about these. They printed beautifully even though I forgot to work at 300 DPI, and the colors also came through really well, and I love the holographic. I don't know, I'm like a 5-year-old. I just really love stickers. I think I know where these need to go. Overall, I'm very satisfied with the products I received. I like everything I got, but my personal recommendation is the stickers because they just give you a lot of bang for your buck. And I am definitely going to be ordering stickers from them again for when I table at conventions because there's just something about holding this many stickers that just brings me pure joy. They have a team that formats your designs before printing and consults you to make sure you like it. And they have detailed instructions on each product, which is really good because there are a lot of them. So remember to check out Vogue Race and use code Kira5 to get $5 off a purchase of $20. And now, let's get back to designing some fantasy nonsense clothes. Now let's move on to the next set of designs, which are some pretty funky dresses. I was just inspired to design something on the spookier side again, and as a lover of candles, I think a candle dress would be so fun. I absolutely love the cut of dresses like this. I think they're very cozy and feminine, and if I could ever pull off this color scheme, I would be absolutely in love. How the heck would I make this, I hear you asking? I really have no clue. I didn't have a plan for this. My best idea would be to layer different fabrics like tools and maybe do some dye work to get the gradient, and then top stitch some cream colored fabric shapes to get the candles and the flames. Maybe try felt, maybe embroider some metallic thread for the stars. If all else fails, acrylic paint. There would be a ton of options, but I think making something like this would be super fun to navigate, and this might also be a fun project to throw some LEDs into to make the candles actually glow. I think I could do a removable petticoat with the lights to wear underneath so it isn't a permanent feature. But yeah, half the fun of these designs would just be figuring out how to make them. And speaking of which, the next design is just an eyeball dress. Like I said, I love the eyeball thing, and I feel like a knit style dress would be so cute, good for the fall, but also terrifying, intimidating, the kind of thing that if you're in the Walmart, people don't come up to you, which is really my goal in life. If you can tell, my fashion taste is either sickeningly sweet and girly, or basically I want to look like Morticia Addams had a love child with Lust from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and she grew up to have an unhealthy obsession with Tim Burton films. Anyways, how would I make this? Good question. Maybe thrift flip a white sweater, or I guess I could make one and then piece together the eyes from various fabrics and then top stitch them on, hand stitch them on. I wouldn't want to embroider them on, and this would also need to be stretchy, so my options are a little limited, but if I can find a good way to make this, I would absolutely make this. Maybe it's just me, but I think that this is so freaking cute. And here's another set of overly embellished clothing items because I want to see what I could do either through embroidery or iron-ons. Yay. I just want to customize a pair of overalls with a cute mushroom / frog theme because I think that would be adorable. Am I too old for that? Yes I am. But shh. I think having little details like this on a pair of overalls would make me wear them more. And like I said, I love statement pieces and outfits that have themes, so I think these would be a fun DIY. I've also been seeing a lot of dirndls around lately, and since I have German heritage, I think it would be really fun to make a pair I can wear to Oktoberfest and whatnot. I've mentioned it it on the channel before, but my Oma, who is no longer with us, immigrated to the US from Germany, so I grew up surrounded by German culture. And I remember wearing dirndl-like garments as a little kid at the German club and stuff, so I think it would be fun to create a more historically accurate one now that I'm older. I said historically so weird there. Albeit with an original design. I think something like this would be a longer project that I want to do some research for and probably do all the embroidery by hand, but I think it would be really cool to have something like this in the end, so it is also on the list. Finally, we just have a cute skirt/shirt combo. This is really just me being indulgent with little autumnal designs on otherwise normal clothing, but I think these would be so cute to try and DIY, either with embroidery, iron-ons, or appliques. I'm just such a maximalist to my core, and my brain just finds highly embellished, highly coordinated outfits intensely satisfying, so I want to up my wardrobe game for those reasons. My goal in life is just to have a highly curated and coordinated fall wardrobe. If it's Libra season, then as a Libra, I've got to have balance, and my definition of balance is a well-balanced closet. Alright friends, now we are truly in full fantasy nonsense territory, because next we have a mushroom raincoat and a moss cloak. I wanted to design a coat somewhere in here, and since the late fall months in November can get very rainy where I live, a raincoat would come in handy. Around here, rain makes the mushrooms grow like crazy, specifically those common brown mushrooms that I don't know the name of, so I wanted to design a cute raincoat and umbrella based on those. Also inspired by the mushroom hat Rachel Maxey just made, which is a delightful video by the way, you should go watch it. Anyways, I have zero idea of how I would make this or what materials I would use. A raincoat fabric would be best, I suppose, but I have no clue how I would get the design on there. Maybe make a white raincoat and color it through dyeing. That could be fun, but also synthetic fabrics don't dye well, and I highly doubt raincoat material is a natural fiber. But there is always acrylic paint, I suppose. Would using a water-soluble material be a bad idea for something that is supposed to take water? Yeah, it would be. As for the moss cloak, this isn't an original idea. A bunch of people have just been asking me to make one, and I probably will at some point. I need to just do a cloak video where I make this and the rose cloak, but this would be a piece that's whimsy for the sake of whimsy, and this would also be such a challenge to make. Like, oh, can you tell how tedious she would be? But I have seen someone called Queendom Cosplay on Tumblr use a needle felting type technique to make one, so that's what I might go with. Then just make a bunch of needle felted mushrooms and doodads to go on it. I feel like that would actually be perfect for this design, and now that I'm talking about it, I really want to do it. I mean, I know it would take forever, but how cozy would that be? Also, ever since Rachel tried needle felting on her channel, I saw how learnable it is. I've been really wanting to try it. Basically, when it comes to Rachel, I am just the Miles Morales to her Peter Parker in that meme. Anyways, last but not least, because literally no one will leave me alone about making a pumpkin-inspired thing, I give you pumpkin dress. All jokes aside, I was really excited to make this design because as soon as I read the words pumpkin and dress, I imagined a poofy, soft, Selkie-inspired dress, but make it pumpkin-themed, and that was it. Approximate time of death? Pumpkin dress comment on YouTube. So yeah, I have to make this, and that might be more of a serious statement than you realize because as of this morning, I've already ordered fabric for this project. Anyways, the design is pretty simple and it kind of follows the formula of my strawberry bodice. Orange organza, extremely full skirt, and ruching at the bust line with a waistline cut just above my natural waist so that you get the poof but low enough to give me a waist because I'm not brave enough to embrace the baby doll style just yet. And then poofy sleeves with pumpkin green ribbons at the top, pumpkin green ribbons at the hip, and a giant bow in the back. Probably with a lace-up back as well as a closure, even though I didn't detail that in the drawing. Basically, I cannot wait to make this. I think it's gonna turn out super fun, and the process for making this will mean that I make a pattern for a dress that looks like this. So that means that this won't be the only Selkie-inspired dress I make. I will also almost certainly make one that's just plain pink for my own personal use. Anyways, here are all the finished designs. I basically came up with 17 outfits for this video, so even though I meant for this week to be more of a chill video, it absolutely got away from me in terms of scale, so I hope you enjoy. I love how all of them came out. Definitely let me know which ones you want to see me actually make, and let me know if you have any ideas of how I could pull off some of these designs in real life, because someone needs to stop me from using acrylic paint on everything. But yeah, I'm really enjoying making these fantasy nonsense design type videos. I might make it a series. Let me know if you'd want to see that. But other than that, remember to check out Vogue Race because their products are pretty sweet. I hope this video gave you a dose of autumn coziness. I'm super excited for fall content. I already have my October videos planned out, and I also chose the premise for my big Halloween project and have already started buying materials, so I am ever so slightly less freaked out about it, but also very freaked out about it because I only have less than a month to do that. But yeah, that's all for this week. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go slowly transform myself into a pumpkin. But